Media.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. We're doing a little bit of a shift on this video, even though it's about Canada and technically our politics. It doesn't really surround Justin Trudeau or any of the crazy things going on in our political realm, but rather something to do with our rights and something that people have mostly been asking about when it comes to judgment upon Canadian citizens. What am I talking about? Well, we're going to get to a really weird job posting that has hit the airwaves, that has actually overtaken Twitter. It has overtaken social media with people actually angry at a certain government-run shill prostitute media outlet that essentially seems to be allegedly violating people's rights. Now, I've often said that when you look at what's happening in the Maritimes right now with the protests going on with temporary foreign workers and students saying that they should be allowed to stay here, they should allow permanent residency, despite the fact they've taken everybody's jobs, that they've made it impossible for actual Canadian citizens to gain employment at a time where people are unable to afford their living or afford their way of life. They may be looking for other opportunities. Well, those opportunities seem to be closing down for actual Caucasian Canadians. Now, what am I talking about? Well, this listing that has come forward from the CBC, of course. Good old government-paid shilled prostitutes looking for a new TV host. Now, Lauren Chen retweeting the pleb here saying, any race except Caucasian. This is a job posting by the CBC, which is a Canadian state media. The Canadian government is actively discriminating against white people. Why are Canadians tolerating this, especially white ones? Well, it's all part of their checking the boxes, diversity, equity, inclusion. Of course, that includes everybody except for white people. Of course, the pleb also tweeting it out. The CBC is hiring a new male host for one of their shows. Their requirements for this job, ages 22 to 35 and not white. You read that right. 0 Caucasians will be considered for the job. And again, if we look at the image for the posting, of course, it says, hello. If you are here to find instructions regarding a self-tape audition submission for the male kids CBC host, you're in the right place. Below, you will find a PDF with the audition material with all of the instructions. Please only submit if you match the following criteria. Now, keep in mind, this is a very specific list. You need a certain set of tools to become a CBC Kids TV host. You must be male between the ages of 23 to 35 years of age, and you can be any race except Caucasian. Any race. So this isn't like, well, we need somebody Spanish or we need somebody Punjab or we need somebody who's, whatever you want to say, South American or you name it. You get the gist. You can be anything as long as you're not white. Now, when I first saw this, of course, I said, well, what about the Charter of Rights? Aren't there rules? Aren't you not allowed to hire based on people's gender, based on their race, based on their creed? Well, if you look at Section 15 of the Charter of Rights, it says every individual is equal before and under the law, has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination, and in particular, without discrimination based on race, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, age, or mental or physical disability. Now, people would say, well, that sounds pretty open and shut to me, but then, of course, I found this article coming up back from February of this year from the National Post. Can job postings in Canada exclude white people? Short answer is yes. Now, there are loopholes. There are loopholes. It says in a recent job posting for Canada Research Chair, applications are restricted to those who identify as members of a racialized minority only. So it didn't say anybody except Caucasians. I mean, the CBC was pretty blunt with it, but let's take a look at what the article says. Restrictions listed on recent postings for Canada Research Chair positions have surprised some people. It's not that someone with a biology degree might have been barred from applying to teach South American history, or that an engineer might not be eligible for a position teaching English literature, but rather that the skin color and gender identity have been limiting factors. Again, I find this funny in Justin Trudeau's Diverse Equity and Inclusion Canada, where he wants everybody to be equal. Well, unless, of course, you're white. In 2 recent job postings for Canada Research Chairs in computer science at the University of Waterloo, applications are restricted to those who identify as women, transgender, gender fluid, non-binary, and two-spirit in the first case, and to members of racialized minority for the second. So as long as you're a complete wacko, and you want us to believe you're something you're not, you can have this job. You don't need qualifications. You just have to be in this bracket so we can check all the boxes. Now, why do they want to check all those boxes? Well, there are certain institutions and programs where they get better funding for those things. You see it in movies all of the time. You see Disney doing it with movies with the woke ideology when they want to spread the message when it comes to things. Now, of course, they're not funded, but in government-related programs, especially for the universities, this is a funding goal. This is, well, we can check all the boxes and submit applications to get better funding for our programs. In the past, these sorts of job postings have led to controversies, with some claiming they're examples of reverse racism or that they show to the end of hiring based on merit and education in favor of immutable characteristics. But it turns out this sort of hiring is normal for Canada research chairs. Actually, it's normal for a variety of industry for various reasons. From Hooters to banks to airlines, here's why Canada has long allowed employers to hire based on gender and race. The big one is Employment Equity Act of 1987, brought in by then Progressive Conservative Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. It identified 4 equity-speaking groups: visible minorities, Indigenous people, women, and those with disabilities. The act requires federally regulated industries, public service, banks, and airlines, for example, to target these groups to get better representation within the workforce. The federal government also has Federal Contractors Program, created by a Mulroney government candidate back in 1986. This obliges businesses with more than 100 employees doing business worth $1 million with the federal government to work towards more equitable hiring. Then, of course, the question arises, do all businesses need to have equity targets? No, they don't. It is only businesses under federal equity programs that are required to have employees that reflect the population. Other businesses are not required to do that. You don't have to close any gaps, said Eddie Ng, the Smith Professor of Equity and Inclusion at the Business of Queen's University. But you may not discriminate. Provincial human rights codes vary by province, but they all prevent discrimination in hiring based on various characteristics such as sex or race. However, businesses may choose to have diversity targets or hire to improve the composition of a company. Legally speaking, this would not be considered discrimination. So again, it's kind of a gray area, and it's something you're going to see more and more common based on a province-to-province basis as we move forward with Trudeau's wacko Canada, as to how people can essentially be ruled out of working in a job merely because of the color of their skin. In a world where we talk about wanting to rid the place of racism, when we say that racism has no place in Canada, and that we've often been a country that accepts and adopts people of many ethnicities, it's really surprising to me that a government would essentially prop up or cheer on or give the tools for companies to exclude anybody, whether they be white, brown, black, you name it. I personally just find it in itself another form of racism, and very hypocritical to the statement of finding diverse and diversity and inclusion when it comes to the workspace. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is a violation of human rights? Do you think the CBC has the right to do this? Again, my guess is they're hiring within the legal parameters, or else they wouldn't put out such an ad. Give me your 2 cents down below. Let me know what you think. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to join me each and every Friday here on the channel for Friday Night Fringe, our Friday night live streaming show where we go over everything that's happening this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, and a little bit of back and forth within our community. I always look forward to chatting with you guys outside of these videos and in our streams and hearing what you have to say outside of the usual YouTube comments. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there this upcoming Friday, again at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.